We are live. We just finished the NFL. Now we're talking the NBA. Tyler, we're grinding over here trying to get this money. And I, for one, can't wait to hear what you have to say about this NBA slate. Tyler, I'm locked in. I'm ready to listen as you break down these games. How are you feeling about the NBA? We're off to a slow start.
Yeah, we're off to a little bit of a rough start, but long season. Can't get too down on ourselves. Like 4 days into the season, like we'll right this ship and get it going. But I mean, the weekend was a little rough too. Spread. I mean, I'm glad we didn't have a show yesterday, or I'd have had the worst take of them all because I thought the Spurs had a shot at winning that game versus the Clippers, and lost by 40. They didn't even stand a chance in that game.
Yeah.
And we talk about it afterwards. It's like, how did we mess up that process of taking that? It's like, well, maybe we overthought the Spurs just being able to outpace the Clippers because they could match the pace with a guy like Russell Westbrook, and they have more talent. And once they matched the pace, it just became a basketball game, and they flat out outscored them at that point. So we got to do a better job at identifying those outs on how we could lose bets, and I think we will do that. Weekend was rough, like I said, and I think we're going to bounce back here to start the week. It's a nice Monday slate. We got 11 games, and I think we found some spots.
Bro, Jonathan Nelson's trying to get me fired up already. Should I fall for it or not?
No.
So don't answer that ridiculous comment.
I mean, don't let them get you worked up too early in the show spread. We'll get them later once we talk about the Lakers.
Absolutely disgusting what goes on. All right, I'm keeping quiet, but I got plenty to say about that team. The Chicago Bulls are plus 3.5. They're in Indiana taking on the Pacers. Pacers have taken a little money since it's open, and why not? The Bulls, arguably the most disappointing team in the NBA so far this season. Bulls have not been good. Pacers have been all right. Pacers have put up a lot of points. Tyler, if I jumped in at all, I like the Pacers and the over. It seems a little square. Talk me out of it.
No, I mean, I like the over here too. I just feel like when you get Pacers games under 230 points, it just seems like a spot where it's like you almost want to automatically pull the trigger. Like they played a Cavs team a few days ago. We said it was like we kind of wanted to play the over, but we were worried that playing that over, we would get hit with the Cavs not being able to put up any points in that game for us. And they were able to put up points. The Bulls, on the other hand, we look at their scores to start the year. They put up 104, 104, 102. We need a lot out of the Pacers here, spread. And the Bulls just aren't a team I really trust. So the more I look at it, I think we just go with the home team. Give me the Pacers to pick up this win. Halliburton gets his tempo going. They just kind of run the Bulls off the floor. Could they go over? Yes, but with the way the Bulls are scoring, I don't want us to get caught in between the Pacers putting up 120 and the Bulls not helping us in the end. So just give me the Pacers to win this game.
There's two games like this, Tyler. And my question is, how about just a team total for the Pacers?
I don't hate that. Yeah, just get rated on that.
All right. So, yeah, I kind of lean the over. So you like the Pacers a little more. We'll talk a little bit more off the thing, but are you feeling strong enough to make this a play? Here's my concern. Our priors had the Bulls rated fairly equally. They're off to a slow start, but I'm worried that what would the word be, selling high on this team?
I mean, it's my biggest problem here too is like just looking at it. I was high on the Pacers preseason. They look like the team I thought.
Yeah, you were higher on them than I was,
and I thought the Bulls were going to be bad, and they look bad. So this is the spot where I'm high on a team and I'm low on a team, and now they're matching off, and it's a short spread. So I automatically kind of want to go to the Pacers. Best player on the floor. Who's your guess? Levine?
No, it's Tyrese.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It's Tyrese. But then the Bulls might have the next three guys. So
for sure they do.
It's a weird game. I lean the Pacers, but I think we'll find better spots on the board.
All right, let's dive right in. Tyler, also, this is an NBA show. Change that background. The Brooklyn Nets are -1. They're in Charlotte taking on the Hornets. Pardon?
So maybe I don't want
to. Oh. All right. Well, at least you're listening to me. The Brooklyn Nets are -1. They're in Charlotte taking on the Hornets. Totals 227.5. Tyler, my projections like the Hornets. I don't know what to make of this Hornets team. They're obviously better than I expected. This team is 1-1 already, and they got the win, and I think they're 2-0 against the spread so far. Talk to me about your thoughts when the Hornets host the Nets.
I like the Nets, and it's hard because it's another one. I wasn't very high on the Nets, but I thought they'd be middle of the pack. I thought the Hornets were going to be the worst team in the league. And Ben Simmons looks pretty good in the Nets uniform with these guys running around. I'm going to keep betting his double-doubles and his triple-doubles. His double-double still 2-1. It was 4-1 to start the year. So Claxton's still out. He can easily get the rebounds. The assist is the only thing I'm really worried about. And we all know his points are just very hard to come by sometimes. He should be able to navigate this floor, though. He's a defensive version of LaMelo minus the offense here. Charlotte has the advantage on the inside with the bigs. But the wings for Brooklyn could give them a lot of troubles. Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
I lean the Nets, but it's an ugly game. I think I stay away from this one too.
Yeah, and in the chat, Jason Graham says Claxton's out. Right, I forgot. We're switched to NBA. I got to pull this injury report up. Claxton's out. Noah Clowney, player I'm not too familiar with, also out. Cody Martin out for the Hornets. So there you have it here. So is this going to be an official play here, Tyler, or are we just staying away again?
I think we come back to this one, but I lean the Brooklyn side here.
Yeah, Nets 0-2 to start the season, a team I was high on so far, failing to meet expectations. Let's move on to the next game. The Boston Celtics are minus 10.5 against the Wizards. Total's 230. Tyler, my projections tell me to lay it. My brain says take the points. What are your thoughts?
Do either of these teams like have a look ahead spot? Like, do either of them have like a big game upcoming? Well, more so Boston. Nah, Boston doesn't have that like spot.
Let's say this is the big game for Washington, right?
It's the big game for Washington, but there's a spot that sticks out to me last year where Boston I think was lined the same as this, and they lost the game outright to Washington. But it was the first night of a back-to-back with the Bucks on the back end, so they were much more worried about the Bucks game. They don't play tomorrow, and then they play Wednesday against the Pacers. I don't think they're looking ahead to playing a Pacers team that they don't think is a real threat. So I think they go out there. It's a Porzingis little quote-unquote revenge game against his old team. So he could have a big game here. I don't mind taking him to say get a double-double at plus 155. I do think they win the game. I'd probably approach it through performance doubles, though, and not lay the 10.5.
All right. Hey, Josh has got something for us. He wants to go back real quick. He says if Ben is playing the 5, they're going to want Mark Williams and Nick Richards playing the 10. I mean, that's a good point. But I think they would play a lot anyways. Mark Williams is one of the best players on that team.
Yeah.
That's why it's tough for me to get involved. I think we've undervalued how strong that team is, especially in the middle. But back to the Celtics. I'm not excited to get involved here. Once again, lane 10.5. To me, it's Wizards or pass, but you brought up some good points on why if the Celtics won by 19, will we be that surprised?
No, not at all.
Are they going to want Mark Williams and Nick Richards on the court? Why would they not? Mark Williams has been playing really well.
Williams is going to start at center. I don't see.
I think this is the only thing we take away from it, Josh. What Jason Graham is saying right here. I like Williams props tonight, double-double. Right? As far as the overall handicap, I don't know how much it really matters that much. Let's say so Brandon Miller does get more minutes. I mean, he's going to – these rookies are so inconsistent. I don't know how much we look into that. All right. Yeah, we got to put at the end of the show, Tyler, we got to throw these on the sheet and put them in the Discord. What's up to my guy, the big Colts fan, looking to root for the Pacers tonight. And I think you got a good chance to root for a win going against those Chicago Bulls. All right. Anything more on the last two games? I mean, do you have anything more about the Nets Wizards or the Nets Hornets or the Celtics Wizards?
No, we can move on to the next one.
All right, Portland Trailblazers are +9 in Toronto, taking on the Raptors. Tyler, this is my biggest edge to the over, but once again, I think I would do the Raptors team total over rather than the whole deal. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I agree there. It's Portland coming up from Philly after on a back-to-back. Now they're going to sit Robert Williams. I know OG's questionable. He might miss this game for Toronto, but the rest of their pieces should be fine to get this win. It's a bad Portland team. I mean, I don't hate doing
right now. Would you say Portland's the worst team in the league? Because I think they are.
Yeah, like I don't hate doing like a Siakam double and win at plus 245. Schroeder 8+ assists and they win plus 142. He does play the point spot for them. Scotty Barnes 10+ rebounds and they win plus 265. Like I'd approach the game some way through that than laying the points. And the total, I do agree. Take the Toronto team total over taking the full game total because Portland might lay a stinker right here.
Yeah, I mean, I got a huge edge to the over here, but like I said, I'm worried about Portland not getting there, especially on the back-to-back. One thing about Portland covering these spreads, though, is they're going to keep their best players in, even in a blowout. So that's something to take advantage here. If you do like the Raptors here, maybe first half is the better look, as there might be a chance. Remember the game that we took the Blazers +9 against the Clippers? We were live there right till the end, as Portland won the fourth quarter by 13 points. And we only missed the spread by 2 points. So something to keep in mind when you're fading the Blazers is the fact that Shaden, Scoot, a lot of those guys are still going to be out on the floor against probably the backups against the other teams. So keep that in mind. Raptors team total over is my favorite look in that game. Tyler gave you some great player props. The Minnesota Timberwolves are -2 in Atlanta taking on the Hawks. Tyler, the total is 228, and the Timberwolves are the talk of the NBA Twitter with the worst GIF or video I've ever seen. If you haven't seen it, you're lucky. Timberwolves are -2 in Atlanta taking on the Hawks. Total's 228. I like the Hawks here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, what even was that GIF, to be honest with you? Like,
disgusting.
Which other mascot was he eating in that video was the biggest question.
What is going on there?
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there, but I'm on the other side than you here, spread. Give me the Timberwolves here. I know Atlanta plays a little better at home, but these teams match up very well, and Atlanta just does not look good to start the year. And Edwards is going to have the advantage on the wings versus these guys for Atlanta. He could defend their guards. The bigs are going to cancel each other out. Gobert and Clint will just be down in the paint, just beating each other up. Cat's going to have the advantage at the 4 spot, being able to carry those guys outside and shoot threes. And I think he's going to be the deciding factor in this game. I think he could have a big game here. His 25+ points and win, plus 285, 3+ threes and win, plus 285. When we know these Atlanta bigs are stone-footed, he could easily be on the outside just shooting threes by himself. So love that. I think they come in. I think they pick up the win. I think they're the better team than Atlanta.
Yeah, I think they're the better team. I just think this is a spot where the home court of the Hawks could come.
They're also a back-to-back coming from Milwaukee.
The Hawks?
Yep.
And the Timberwolves' last game was, refresh my memory, it was Saturday?
Yes.
And they
lost to the Heat, or they beat the Heat. They came out on top because that was was
the dumb game that I took plus 8 on.
That was the game where you were like, we got to be on the Heat. And I was like, I don't think this is a regular season team.
Absolutely disgusting there. All right, so the Timberwolves coming off that big win over the Heat. Hawks get their first win of the season over the Bucks, but great point, Tyler. Not only travel, a little bit of a letdown spot there as well. Our guy Harry Doherty is on Capella over 10.5 rebounds. I don't hate that look, but I think there's some better ways to approach that. Don't you, Tyler?
Yeah, my only worry is there's going to be multiple bigs down there that can eat.
Yeah, and then he doesn't get the minutes.
Yeah.
Also, won't he be down there with Gobert?
He'll be down there with Gobert. Cat can get involved on those.
And Naz Reid, yeah.
And Jaden McDaniels might be back for the T-Wolves in this game. That's another defender that could slow down these Atlanta guys.
You know who's looking good, Tyler, is Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, he does look good.
Yeah. That was a guy you were really high on, right? Coming out of that draft last year, you kept talking to me about him.
I wasn't super high on him. I just thought he was more of like an athletic guy. He was in like the perfect spot where it's like, oh, Trae Young, just throw him oops, get him off the pick and roll, and just let him roll the hoop and attack the rim.
If you're a Hawks fan, you have to be excited about his development as big chance for the Hawks.
He's like a more athletic, younger version of John Collins.
Sign me up. Right? On a rookie deal. The only problem with Collins was that contract.
Yeah, his contract was terrible.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, he helped the team win.
Yep.
It's just they overpaid because this whole idea of the NBA that you can't, quote unquote, let an asset walk, so you'd rather overpay him and then hamstring your salary cap. I mean, these front offices make these mistakes so much, and you see it with a lot of these players. So, John Collins, the issue with him was the contract, not the actual play on the court. Detroit Pistons, the team I'm loving so far this year, Tyler, they're catching 6 in OKC against the Thunder. The Thunder let us down yesterday. The Nuggets kind of showed them, hey, you guys are a fun young story, but you're not ready to take us on yet. Now the Thunder come back home after their first loss of the season, ready to take on the 2-1 Detroit Pistons, Tyler. And then that one loss, they lost by 1 in Miami. The Thompson twin that they got, they have Astaire, right? He's been so good on the defensive end. I know people were surprised when Jaden Ivey went out of the starting lineup, but it completely makes sense. You can tell that Monty Williams is going to prioritize defense. There's absolutely no spacing on the floor for the offense. And Monty doesn't care because he said, you're going to have to defend to earn minutes on this team. And I think it's a great idea for a rebuilding team. I love the way that Williams is here as a coach. But once again, Wiseman out of the rotation. Monty Williams just doesn't like big men. So he'll probably be moving on here at the end of the year. Something to keep in mind. But speaking of a big man, Jalen Duren, probably the biggest leap here. So happy for myself because I have so many shares of him in best ball. If you watch the 2 best ball shows I did do, I circled Duren as a name to target so far. And barring injury, that's going to be one of my best picks and one of the reasons why I'm winning a lot of these leagues. It is early, but I'm doing pretty well so far. So the Pistons catching 6 against the Thunder. Right on that key number there, Tyler. Almost like an NFL deal, right? Where if the Thunder continue to take money, maybe a little more interested in the Pistons. But if the Pistons get popular and this line drops, you can make an argument for the Thunder. How does Chet Shea respond against Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham?
I'll take a shot on Detroit here plus the points. I think they got a legitimate shot to win the game. Now, this could be where OKC becomes a thorn in my side this season because I'm 0-2.
Yeah, this is a tough team to cap,
betting with or against them in their games. So I just think Detroit matches up very well, like Jason said in the chase. The Pistons are still undervalued. Why? They have size, can run, can rebound, can shoot.
The one thing I would argue there is the shooting.
Yeah, the shooting's a little hit or miss, but in this matchup with OKC, it's like OKC really doesn't have guys that are going to gun from the 3 and beat you with threes. Like SGA's not hitting 6 threes in a game.
To be fair, SGA also had the worst game of his career in the Thunder uniform.
He played so bad yesterday. It's a back-to-back for them. I think Cade matches up well with him. There's not many point guards that can match Shea's size and his length. Cade's one of them. They also have Astaire Thompson, who's a great defender. They could throw his way. They have the bigs. Like Duren's going to beat up on Chet down low. Chet's going to have to play on the perimeter. And was Wiseman fully out of the rotation spread, or was he out due to an injury? Because now they're showing he's in, and they said he had some kind of strain. So maybe he gets some minutes here.
I'm going off preseason rotations.
Okay.
He just doesn't seem to be very popular with Monty.
Yeah, I think they also have the coaching advantage too. Like I'm on Detroit here. I think this game's very close, and I think they have a legit shot at winning it. I'll take the +6.
Are you making it an official?
Yep, Detroit will be number 1.
Oh my gosh, I'm so worried about fading this Thunder team, Tyler.
I think Detroit's
especially coming off that loss yesterday.
Did you say Detroit's the Eastern version of them, minus the whole farm system of draft picks? Like young team, pretty built. It's built pretty nice. Like they have their guys on the way up.
Yeah. Good point there. All right, so Tyler's making a compelling case for the Thunder at +6. Tyler, the final thing I would say, though, I think we wait to place this bet. I think we can get 6.5.
Play, see if anything comes in.
I think we'll just get 6.5. I can't see the Pistons taking money here. The Thunder, I think it's just a great bounce back spot for them.
Did you see anybody being rolled out for the Thunder, though, on a back-to-back?
No. I mean, who's on the report?
This is the Thunder.
Jalen Williams is out. Heinrich Williams is out.
It's not about who's on their report right now. It's about this is the Thunder, and we could blink, and there could be 4 more guys on this report by 5 o'clock.
I agree, but that was one of the reasons we started doing this show later. I don't think we're going to get sniped there. Let's handicap it how it is right now, and you still like the
Detroit
Pistons.
Also 3-0 ATS in their last 3 against OKC.
Great knowledge there. All right. Tyler likes the Pistons. I'm worried about fading the Thunder again because obviously I had them undervalued this season. And Chet Holmgren What a great pick. If he's going to play like that, obviously my initial thoughts about this team are wrong. The Dallas Mavericks are minus 1.5 in Memphis, taking on the Grizzlies. Total's 226. Tyler, talk about wrong. My projections for the Grizzlies are wrong. This team is way worse than the projections are telling us every single night. Do you see my point? Like,
Yeah. I see your point.
I'm not changing the model. We're just keeping it in mind. We were way too high on the Grizz. Like, let's just manually downgrade them by like 4 points every night. I was high on this team. I was absolutely wrong. Marcus Smart isn't it as far as being able to make up for the loss of John Morant and Tyus Jones, of course, who ran that team with a steady hand in Morant's absence over the last 2 seasons. They're definitely missing the presence of their reliable backup. Also, Santi Aldama, normally not a big deal, but the fact that they're already missing Adams and Brandon Clark, it's just a tough scene there for the Grizz. They're catching points at home. Tyler, my projections tell me to take the Grizzlies. I don't want to do it. I don't know if I necessarily want to take the Mavericks either.
Yeah, but the Mavericks have been such a bad road team that it's like it's very hard to get on them. Mm-hmm. But I think it's one of those spots where, like, I don't want to lock in the -2 and say they're a lock to win this game, like bet them on the side, as much as I would like. I'm going to bet the Luka triple-double on its own. It's plus 340. I think there's a very good chance he gets there in this game. I can also bet the Luka triple-double and Dallas wins this game at plus 540 instead of betting a -2. Because I think those two kind of correlate. Like, he has to play very well for him to win a game, especially with Kyrie having that Q tag on him. And I can also get the double-double and win at plus 136. I'm just going to bet the game through Luka. If they win, he probably has the bigger game. And if he does have the nuclear game and gets a triple-double, we might be able to cash all 3 of those tickets. So I'll play the game through that and hope he just gets me a triple-double.
All right. Harry is on Smart over 1.5 steals plus 100. So here's my issue with that, Harry. So you're right. He's hit it in all 3 games so far. The problem is he's going against the most ball-dominant team. Do you see my point? There's a reason why James Harden always had a great assist to turnover ratio. You can't get turnovers if you don't pass the ball.
Very true.
Do you see my point? So I just don't know if those steals are going to be open as Kyrie and Luka continue the my turn, your turn deal. Tyler, another thing that has to be noted about the Mavericks is that they hit it out at the park with their draft pick. Derek Lively has been exactly what this team needed. Young, on a good contract, and fits in right away with this team. The Mavericks, things are looking good for this team, Tyler. I wasn't necessarily high on them to start the season, but the fact that they nailed that draft pick, they've got to have some hope there now in Dallas. Tyler says approach it by doing a Luka player performance double. The Golden State Warriors are now plus 4.5 in New Orleans, taking on the Pelicans. I don't see Steph on this report, Tyler. But everything I'm reading is Steph's not going to play.
I haven't seen anything about him not playing. But
so this line move is just a market move? It was -2 yet last night.
I'll see if I can find anything. But, yeah, I think it's more of just a market move.
Draymond Green, probable. Jonathan Kuminga, questionable. Klay Thompson, questionable. I guess the idea is they could sit all 3 of these guys. It's not like
that. And they play yesterday in a decently close game. Like, normally these guys sit in this spot. So it was in Houston. Now they head to New Orleans. We just bet this New Orleans team until they get injured. Like,
so you don't mind laying 4.5?
No, you're telling unless Draymond's putting on boxing gloves, that's the only way he's going to stop Zion tonight.
And you know what else this allows us to do, Tyler?
What's that?
Fade the Warriors on the road?
Yep.
Sign me up. I'm going to bet the Warriors at home. I'm going to fade them on the road. I like the Pelicans with you here, -4.5. And, hey, if some of that news comes in, especially Draymond, even more attractive there, sitting at that number. The Miami Heat, a team that disappointed me on Saturday as they had the lead through like 3 quarters, but then failed to cover an 8-point spread against the Minnesota Timberwolves, are now only 6.5-point dogs. against the Milwaukee Bucks. That's because Jimmy Butler will return from injury. What a joke this whole rest deal is. People are going, oh, how do we think the new rest policy is going to affect things? It's not at all. These guys are just going to sit out. Embiid almost sit out
that him sitting out the Minnesota game was his whole thing of I'm never playing in Minnesota again after that whole debacle. He hasn't played a single game in the state of Minnesota since that happened.
Why?
Because that's how Jimmy
Wouldn't
Butler
you want to beat your old team if you hate them?
You would think so, but that's just how this guy's wired, I guess. This is everyone's dog from the playoffs of last year.
Yeah. All right, Tyler. The more we talk about this, I love the Heat. I mean, I love the Bucks in a bounce back spot here.
Yeah, I think the Bucks bounce back big. Dame couldn't hit the side of a barn yesterday in that game, so they got ran off the floor. Atlanta's been a weird matchup for them. They just hit a ton of threes, and we just look at this injury report. This is a middle of the year injury report. Bam, questionable already. Caleb Martin's out. Like, I get it. Jimmy's back.
Here's our issue. Giannis is probable.
He'll be in. His was it's just back to back.
So I don't need to worry about that.
Not much. If we're not worried about the OKC guys all that much, I don't think he sits due to it. They got really blown out like yesterday. So I think he'll be fine. I think he'll play. Middleton will be in there. They're going to be fine. I think they bounce back.
I kind of want to lay it, Tyler.
I'm down, but I want to make sure those guys are in. Because if they're not, I still want to be on the Bucks, but I don't want to be on them at this number.
Great point. All right, let's keep it moving as we navigate the NBA betting board. We navigate the NBA injury report. This is the NBA Rundown. This is the Nuke the House YouTube channel. Guys, give us a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Get notified when we go live. And, of course, Keg will be live later tonight watching the Las Vegas Raiders do what they do best, embarrass themselves and their fans. The Utah Jazz are plus 8.5 in Denver, taking on the Nuggets. Total 227. What do we do here, Tyler?
You bet the Nuggets through. I think you just come at it through the Jokic triple-double and win. Because the Jokic double-double and win is just – they don't even list it, spread. It's not even listed. That's how low the odds would be. His triple-double and wins plus 205. I like that. If you wanted to approach it through a Jamal Murray, because we all know that Utah can't cover point guards, he could absolutely nuke this spot. And you can look back on the matchups that him and Donovan Mitchell had when these two teams played back in the bubble. He put up tons of points. So this could just be that matchup where he just nukes the Jazz again, but I'm going to approach it through Jokic. He always flirts with a triple-double. The double-double is almost automatic. It's all about the assists. I think he gets them here. Give me the Jokic triple-double and win. And I'll parlay Luka and Jokic just to get triple-doubles and not their teams win, and that gets you an 11-1 ticket.
Tyler coming in hot on the EuroLeague. Also, I made a mistake. Jason Graham, thank you for helping me out here. Keg canceled the live stream for tonight, just like Josh McDaniels has canceled any hopes that us Raiders fan have of being respectable. Keg, good move tonight. Good move. You don't want to watch that crap. What an utter joke this team is. The Orlando Magic are now plus 3.5 in Los Angeles, taking on the Lakers. Total 219. Why did this line move, Tyler? This was -2 earlier today.
I mean, I think it's all the problems.
Because Cam Reddish is in?
Well, the probable tag's also on LeBron, too, and Hachimura, so they're both in. To be honest with you, I don't think I want anything to do with this game spread.
I don't either, because you know what the right side is, right?
The part of me is telling it to take Orlando.
Why?
I just think the Lakers are just going to take a little bit of time to get everything meshed out with the new guys.
Orlando only beat Portland by 5, bro.
I know.
Now they're going to go down to L.A.
It's ugly, but I think that's where I would be in this game. This is why I want to stay away from it.
Yeah, I hate to say it. I mean, so Jonathan Nelson was like completely wrong earlier today on with his earlier comment, but I have to agree with him today. He's trying to get me fired up, Tyler. Can I respond to that?
That does make a good point. The more I think about it too, is like them getting kind of not screwed in the Kings game, but like losing that.
How did they get screwed? They had like 35 free throws. We had like 12.
I mean, I didn't watch it, so don't yell at me. But
I'm not yelling at you. Everyone knows who I'm yelling at.
Yeah, but
yeah,
it's starting to look more like the Lakers probably should win this game. Coming off the loss, they want to make a statement win. Rich Smalls, though, Braun and AD played a ton of minutes last night too. It's a weird spot, I'll say that, and I'm probably
it's the softest superstar combo we've ever seen.
I mean, there were 3 guys in Brooklyn.
They played a lot of minutes.
There was like 3 guys in Brooklyn that played like 12 minutes together, so that's the softest group we've ever seen.
Screw you for coming with facts. Can I be a hater in peace?
Can't hate on the guys when they got a ring.
All right. Sponsored by Disney, who's owned by ESPN.
If the Kings won it, would it still be sponsored by Disney?
No, it would have been the greatest achievement in the history of sports.
Yeah, if the Heat would have won instead of Lakers, would it have been sponsored by Disney?
No, it would have been. We would have talked about how Jimmy
Butler and those guys were able to get their team locked in the bubble, and it's probably the hardest championship ever to win.
Of course, yeah, we would have. But instead, we slander.
Now it's Mickey Mouse.
I mean, it's just fair. I mean, nobody. First of all, they shouldn't even beat the Nuggets. They got every call in that series too, just like they always get every call. And you know what, Jonathan Nelson, I can't help it. Why do we, as an NBA fan society, just allow one team to always get the benefit of the doubt on the whistle? And why do we allow it? Oh, because they're the most popular team in the league, and the league makes more money when they win. So they just get this automatic whistle advantage every night. Tyler, I'm done. What is your best bet for the night?
My best bet for tonight is going to be, I'll give you 2. I'll give you a prop. And
Bro, like we've gone through this whole board. Remember I said, do you want to do the tags before we start? And you said, we're going to talk through these games. I thought I was going to have a ton queued up by the time we talked through it. Every single side that you've liked, I feel like I can make a good argument opposite.
Yeah, but this is why I wanted to go through the games before we put tags on, because I want to get ahead of ourselves and then not like any of the games and have to pull them off. So that's why we did that. And my best bet on the side is going to be, I'm going to take the Pelicans minus the 4. And as for a prop, give me Luka's triple-double at plus 340.
Jonathan Nelson says these calls are legit. Yeah, just like Manti Te'o's girlfriend, Jonathan Nelson. You got to be freaking kidding me. I'm sorry. Say it one more time. I can't look at the chat anymore.
Pelicans minus 4 and Luka's triple-double plus 340.
Yeah, I like the Pelicans.
Do that parlay of Luka and Jokic both to get triple-doubles. That is 11-1 on FanDuel.
I'm not looking at the chat anymore. It's messing me up. If they have good comments, you take care of it, okay?
Gotcha.
All right. So we've talked through this. I need to come up with – I hate to say it, Tyler. The Lakers are the best spot on the board.
Make it your best bet then.
No. Why would I do that?
I mean, you just said they're the best spot on the board. You're going to leave the best spot on the board and not take it as your best bet?
No, because we can find more. All right. So of the other games that we talked about, you like the Nets, but I feel like you know what's really keeping me off a lot of these games is that we've been wrong about certain one of these teams. Fine, I'll look at the comments again. Let's see. Fila's saying the Chiefs are a good example of the officials always been on this side. You thought I was a Lakers fan? All right. So, okay. You like the Nets, but I'm worried because we've been completely wrong about the Hornets so far this season. I like the Wizards plus 10.5, but I don't need to explain why I'm not taking that bet. I like the Raptors team total over. I think that's a great look. That might be my best bet for the day. You like the Timberwolves. I like the Hawks there, so we're opposite. No reason to make that my best bet. My concern about that Pistons plus 6, of course, is that this is such a great bounce back spot for Shea, especially coming off that terrible game, right?
It's a just good like for the backcourt for Detroit, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you're making good arguments on both sides. And we talk about teams that we've gotten wrong. We've been right about the Pistons being really good. So how far are we going to continue to upgrade them? I kind of like the Mavericks minus 1.5. You like that one, right? But you were
Yeah,
going Luka triple double.
I just the way I approach that game, I think they win. But with how Dallas has played on the road as of last year, I would rather bet it through the Luka triple double and win, Luka double double and win, and hope he doesn't say get 26, 9, and 8, and I cash a plus money ticket over betting the -2.
Okay. All right. So here's the ones I've come down to. Heat -6. Bucks -6.5. We talked about bounce back spot. Great bounce back spot for Milwaukee. Mavericks -1.5. Or Raptors team total over. Of all those, which one do you think is the best play?
Probably the Raptors. Just because I just don't for them to not get there, it has to be their fault. Like Portland's not playing defense tonight after the back-to-back. They don't play defense anyway. Now they travel up from Philly, and everyone knows they travel to Toronto. No team likes it, so I think Toronto hangs close to 120 here.
You know, the max bet on that team total is only 575, and I can put down like 30K on a side.
You gotta love it.
That's so crazy. All right, so we're going Raptors on the over on the team total, but other plays that I like are the Bucks and the Mavericks. And if you're willing to just engage in disgusting blood money, the Lakers, I think, are a good play tonight. All right, Tyler, there you have it. That is the NBA rundown. Overall thoughts here on the first week of the season?
No, I think it's been a fun season. Like just the start of it, the first couple of days, there's been some entertaining games. You're not getting a bunch of blowouts. I think there's been like 3 or 4 like major blowouts where teams weren't able to be in striking distance at the end. And Denver looks strong, and there's a couple other teams that look strong, but no one's really separated themselves. So it's nice to see that there's actually like some parity in the league, and we don't have 2 teams that we know are going to be there in the end like we did.
Yeah, isn't it so much better with all these legitimate contenders?
Yeah, like the regular season in the NBA, it's a grind, but those 4 to 5 years where it was like, oh, the season started.
Wait for the Cavs and the Warriors.
Yeah, let's start the timer and wait for the Cavs and the Warriors to get there in the end. It's like those were just like you knew what the inevitable was in the end. Yeah. You can't tell me who's going to be in the finals this year. You could be confident about it. You could be right.
Yeah, I can. Nuggets Celtics.
Are you like? Could they 100% be there? No, the Bucks could beat them.
You understand my point, right?
Yeah, like you could be confident, you could be right, but it's not as much of a lock as it was back in those years. And I like the league a lot more like that.
Tyler, you know how I would just love the Bucks? They should trade for Davion Mitchell. Just let me be that Drew Holiday guy with Dame. Oh, that would be so awesome. All right. Anything else we have to say to the people before we sign off?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, so just a reminder, we're on Nuke the House today. One day a week, we jump over and we hang out with Meg, and that'll be on Fanspeak tomorrow. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're back on this channel. And Tyler, before we log off, you're going to drop in the Discord, and I'm going to drop it on Keg's sheet. So we're going to have to make sure we get the official plays out to the people in that regard. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Jonathan Nelson, for working me up. I mean, if my day wasn't bad enough by betting on the Spurs last night, way to make it even worse, telling me those are legit calls. Yeah, there's just one team over the past 20 years. It's always that never fouls anybody and always gets fouled more than anyone else. Unbelievable. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back. Unbelievable.